Welcome to Old Fox Racing PS4. Welcome to Laguna Seca with the 4 Falcon. Here are the current standings. After 40 rounds, Kev Allen and Simon Allen continue to battle for the championship, but it's more than 50 points between them. Qualifying for race 1 here at Laguna Seca saw Simon Allen and Kev Allen on the front row. What a surprise. And Darren had a rookie in third place, followed by Bramall, Diogo, Silva, Scott Davely and Jambo, as we await for the green light for this race 1 here at Laguna Seca. And we have go! And who has a good start? That is Diogo Silva and Andy Bramall side by side as they battle for fourth place into turn 1. There go the nose cones, but I think Diogo has got the job done on Andy, as we see also Kev Allen and Darren Head going head to head there already into turn 2, as we have a lot of yellow cars here, a lot of yellow Fords. This is going to be fun to commentate, and someone is already in the gravel at the back of the field. That is Phil and Stuart Brand have come together, so that's going to delay them somewhat, as we are already in the middle of the lap as we follow Andy Bramall in fourth place. Simon Allen has gone into the lead, followed by Darren Head. Great start there by Darren. It's his debut here in Old Fox Racing, and he's making a huge statement already. He qualified third and is now second and holding the championship leader behind. That's not bad for your debut here at Old Fox Racing, as we are now past the corkscrew. And oh, Kev Allen has taken him out. Kev Allen was a little bit too ambitious there after the corkscrew in that number 62 for Falcon, and really messing up the race of the rookie, as Darren Head now has fallen to not fallen that much actually, because it was really Kev that got the worst out of it. So well done to Darren. He's still in third place. He did lose a position to Diogo Silva, who's now in second place and already 3 seconds behind Simon Allen. Great opportunity for Simon to really score a victory, and perhaps on the day that Kev is not going to score as many points as he wished. We follow Chris Russell, another rookie. We haven't talked very much about him because Darren Head has been grabbing all the headlines, as it were, but Chris is also doing a great job there. He's sitting in fifth, and not a bad debut either. So really excitement here on race 41 of the season, with two new drivers that really have they just arrived and they're already challenging for podiums and top fives and really showing the way to more established names. We have there Jambo in 6th place, Scott Davely in 7th, as Kev Allen is now trying to find a way past him. Kev is down in 8th place, as he really and this was a bit of a surprise because Kev was on the inside on that left-hander after the corkscrew, and initially it looked like Kev just was a bit ambitious on the inside and really had... Oh, and Scott has gone wide. Scott has gone wide on the last corner, and he has lost a couple of positions to Kev and also to Stuart Brand, who's now up to 8. But I was saying, it looked initially as if Kev just turned in on him. And that Darren was going to spin out and Kev was going to get away relatively unscathed, but it turns out that Kev was the one that lost most of the time there, as with the race continues, and Simon Allen really has a green light to victory here because he's already with a 5-second advantage over Diogo Silva. Darren Head in third, Andy Bramall in fourth, and they're all relatively close to one another. Fifth is Chris Russell, sixth is Jambo, and Jambo is really now with that green for Falcon in his view, and here comes an attempt to pass at the corkscrew, which was really a little bit ambitious there by Jambo, but he's taking a different line into the corkscrew. He's also taking a different line into this left-hander where Kev Allen and Darren Head have collided. and let's see, because this battle is getting more interesting, because Cavalli himself is now really battling for, I think, 5th place in essence, because then Jambo lets him through. Jambo is letting him through, or what? I think Jambo just either missed. No, he's not letting him through. He just missed the final corner and really lost a bit of traction and had to then correct and really went on the inside. He's now defending on the inside, and now on the outside is going to be tricky. Cavalli is going to go, and Cav has collided with Jambo. Cavalli has collided with Jambo on turn 2. Here comes Stuart Brand, and for the second time in 2 laps, Cavalli has collided with someone and has really got the worst out of it again, because Jambo continues to be in 6th place, and Kev has again spun on the inside of the corner and really then went into the barrier, and probably had to apply reverse. I don't know if he had to apply reverse gear or not, but he lost a lot of time there. So Cavalli is now in 8th place, and bizarrely he hasn't lost more than 2 positions as he's now behind Stuart Brandon. Oh dear, collision, 3 collisions. This one, they are now both stuck. Oh dear, they are now stuck as Stuart reverses into the gravel. He continues. There goes, I think, Phil, who at one point was in the 11th and last, and now he's up to 8th, as Cavalli continues to go from bad to worse. Incredible development here as Simon Allen continues to lead. Cavalli is now at the back end of the top 10. Would you believe this? He has collided with Darren Head, he has collided with Jambo, and now he has collided with Stuart Brand, and they were both stuck and couldn't move for some time. And Kev is now 9th, because Stuart must have made some mistake. He's down to 10th. Here is Chris Russell in 5th. And Darren Head has actually lost a position. We haven't seen that from our cameraman. Darren Head has been overtaken by Andy Bramall. So the rookies are now running 4th and 5th. That is Darren Head in 4th and Chris Russell in 5th. And really, that's not a bad position at all. It's just that Darren Head actually was 2nd at some point, and really is going to be left outside of the podium now. But still, 6 left to go. We are reaching the midpoint of this race. Jambo is going after Chris Russell now. Jambo in that number 47 white and red for Falcon, and these cars are really strange cars. Of course, they are not such cars that are used in an American championship. They are used in V8 supercars. Very difficult cars to stop, as we saw there. Oh dear, and Jambo also has missed the braking point, and he's decided to use the pit lane exit there. That was a good job to find some grip on that nice tarmac of... Oh, and Jambo has spun again. He has spun again. He's having troubles controlling this for Falcon. As I said, it's a very tricky car to control. All the old folks have said throughout practice and qualifying that this was a very, very tricky car to control. Very, very tricky car also to stop. It looks like an incredibly heavy thing with not great brakes, is the way I would put it. As all the old folks have had problems controlling and especially stopping these cars on time. And really it's very, very difficult to be consistent and not make any mistakes in such a demanding circuit such as Laguna Seca, which has all sorts of corners, high-speed corners, weird corners like the corkscrew. It has slow corners like this one that Diogo Silva, who's in 2nd place, is now negotiating. That's the last corner, as Diogo now finishes his own lap 6, and the Bramall is going after him. Just a couple of seconds between these two, who have the same livery this week. Here is Darren Head. Darren has lost a bit of touch now with Andy, so he's probably relying on someone having a problem ahead of him if he still wants to challenge for a podium, which would be incredible in his debut. as he really has joined this championship after 40 rounds. So still the chance to score some good points. Fifth is Chris Russell. Jambo has now also lost touch with Chris after that couple of mistakes, almost consecutive mistakes by Jambo there. And he's Scott Davely. Scott Davely, who has quite nicely ascended to 7th place. At some point Scott was like 9th or 10th, but really he has benefited from the collision between Kev Allen and Stuart Brand, and really recovered some ground and positions, as now Kev is in 8th, and we're going through the field here. Stuart Brand is in 9th and Phil is in 10th, with Brian Hesteng, who also rejoins these events after a few rounds that he was not participating. He's in 11th place, so no points for Brian as it stands, and he's really also 1 minute behind 10th place. So unless someone ahead of him has a huge problem, or a pit stop or something like that, or a penalty, I think that Brian is going to have to finish outside of the points. But not over until it's over is what we say here at All Folk Racing, because when something needs to happen or can happen, it usually happens in All Folks Racing. We have a little bit of everything. As such, right now on the track we don't have a lot of action. We have a leader that is Simon Allen. Simon Allen is known for being very prone to mistakes, especially when he's leading. So let's see how he deals. Here is a non-board lap. Here is through the corkscrew. Then this left-hander, very tricky not to run wide at the exit. Then you can accelerate before this braking point. You have to get this corner right in order to take the most advantage of this short straight, and now you have to brake on time, otherwise you are going to end up in that gravel trap over there. As Simon Allen finishes yet another lap. I think he's finishing his 7th lap, so entering his 8th lap, as we see here after the start finish line. This is turn 1, which is completely flat out, and here is the first hairpin. Very tricky to get this right. Different lines by different drivers. Here is Simon taking very much the inside line, trying to hit both apexes of those corners. Here is another turn to the right, very tricky. And here is yet another right-handed, slightly faster, which then leads into quite a quick zone actually here. This straight, which is also a very good overtaking point. Here is another braking point, not as extreme as the previous ones, as you now are at the back of the circuit, and we are about to enter the fastest part just before the corkscrew. Here is, you need to be so careful not to run wide, but here you can go and really benefit from the power of this Ford Falcon, braking for the corkscrew. Here is the extremely famous corner. Are we going to see something like that 1996 pass of Alex Zanardi into Brian Herta? It doesn't look like it, because all these cars are really not that close to one another, and this is what we're kind of like half expecting after a week of practice, is that it's actually very difficult to make a clean pass with these cars in a car of similar pace, because it's very difficult to outbrake someone just because the brakes aren't really that good. Let's see here with Jambo and Chris Russell. So these two have been battling for quite a few laps, and Chris is now off the track, and Jambo says thank you very much. Thank you, Chris. Here am I going for yet another top 5. Jambo at one point was almost the champion of top 5s. No one had more percentage of top 5s, and Chris has made a mistake. No one had more higher percentage of top 5s than Jambo, except for the Allens and Craig Lloyd. Now as of late, Jambo has really not scored as many top 5s as he probably wanted. It's great to see him back here today, even with additional competition, with the likes of Darren Head, Chris Russell running quite well, but Jambo, despite all of that additional competition, still managing to have a very good race in 5th place, and maybe he could go after Darren Head. No, not quite. I think he's 7 or 8 seconds behind with only a couple of laps to go, so probably the position's also stabilizing there. What has not stabilized is Chris Russell's 6th place, because he has now his mirrors full of championship leader Kev Allen, who has been pretty much in every position in this race except the leads. I think he has been in 2nd, in 3rd, in 4th, in 5th, in 7th, where he's now in 8th and 9th, and I think he's even been 10th. So clearly Kev has experimented a little bit with, and Chris is running wide. Chris is running wide again in that particular corner. Let's see if Kev can get the job done on the outside, which then becomes the inside for the last corner. Yes, he has. He has done the job on Chris Russell, and Kev Allen now is in 6th place, and here he's as if he was in the last lap just tanking his crew, but no. This is again when people accelerate a little bit too early out of the last corner. They just go into the inside, and Jambo has spun. Jambo has spun. No, yeah, he has spun. I wasn't sure. I saw him off the track. Reset button there quite nicely, which is allowed in this series. So if you are spinning, if you are in the opposite direction, you can press the reset button. Of course, you cannot do it if there are other cars that are too close to you. Otherwise, you can. Jambo, it looked as if he did the same mistake again, and he was using the pit lane exit to get some grip back into that car, but all of a sudden he spun, and that has actually put now Kev Allen in 5th place out of nowhere. Kev also with a little bit of luck with other drivers in front of him making small mistakes like Chris Russell or big mistakes like Jambo, and Kev ends up actually not losing that many points for Simon Allen. He's going to score to 10 points, so he's going to lose 15, which is still a comfortable thing to do with the advantage that he has at the front of the championship. Scott Davely is now having ideas, because Jambo's mistake has meant that he... Oh, and Jambo spun again! Again, Jambo spun again. That's, I think, the 4th mistake I've seen from him, and that shows how easy it is to make mistakes with this car in such a demanding circuit like Laguna Seca. Incredible that Jambo was actually heading for a very good finish in the top 5, and is now stuck in 8th place because Kev Allen, Chris Russell, Scott Davely have all overtaken him after mistakes, and really Jambo is not going to be happy with that, and probably looking forward to doing better in race 2, as we have a lapped car there. That is, I think, Phil, because Brian Hastings is already lapped car. Simon Allen now in the last corner. The checkered flag is waiting for him, waiting for Simon Allen. This time, no mistakes, and he has won here at Laguna Seca. 2nd place. Here comes Diogo Silva. Diogo was taking it easy through the last lap, almost to the point of a formation finish there with the Team Extra, the yellow team of him and Andy Bramall. Finished 2nd and 3rd. Here is Darren Head. Well done to Darren. He was almost scoring a podium on his debut, and that's something that only Craig Lloyd and the Allens have managed to achieve. Chris Russell, again, excellent 6th place on his debut. Here comes Scott Davely, also a good 7th place for Scott. 8 is going to be Jambo. Here he is. He's not going to be happy with that performance. A few too many mistakes for him, causing valuable points to be lost. Here comes Stuart Brandt. Relatively discreet performance. At some point he was 7th, but then a couple of mistakes and a collision with championship leader Kev Allen dropped him back into 9th, with Phil and Brian Hastings completing the field. There's the confirmation of the result. This was race 1, round 41, Old Fox Racing PS4. We are now going to race 2 coming up. Stay with us. Thank you very much.